Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the
Good morning, afternoon, or evening as the case may be in your part of the world. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm ZenArcher, and this is just another day. Oh, let's see here. Let me turn this down a little bit. I just saw Gretchen Wilson's California Girls video. I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen it yet, find a way to see it, because it's something. Anyway, I just got done going through all of my emails and my messages, and gone through the 3 or 4 websites that I have pages on, and taking care of all that. And I thought I'd get up with you this morning. I'm glad, as you see, the hat's back. I had no shirt. Feeling good. Looking pretty. I've got a few hater comments, but let me tell you something. Let me tell you what's happened real quick. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but real quick. This is kind of cool. On the last 2 or 3 videos, I set all of my comments to approve only. And by doing so, when a comment comes in, I have to approve it before it gets out into the public. That way I can avoid the personal attacks and people who are just spamming and trying to promote videos and that kind of thing. I let dissenting views get through, and if you look at my comments, you'll see that those do get through. So on my last video, I decided that I wasn't going to do that. That I was just going to leave it and maybe set it a little bit later. And the funny thing that happened was I got fewer and fewer and fewer hate comments. In fact, on the last one, I think I had 3 out of, I don't know how many comments there were, but there were like hundreds, or it seemed like hundreds anyway. And I got like 3 hate comments, and they weren't the nasty hate comments. They were, you're ugly. I know that. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it kind of reaffirmed what I believe is that if you simply don't allow it, eventually they just give up. They're just like, well, I'm not getting heard, I'm not getting any attention, so this is useless, and they go somewhere else. They're probably over one of your blogs. Fighting with you and arguing with you. So just wanted to note that. Secondly, I had a video response on the When Lightning Strikes video, asking me what I thought about recycling. So I wanted to go into that real quick. I don't have any real big views about it. I kind of see the world as if you camp, if you've been taught to camp, then you've learned that when you go into an environment, what you do is when you leave, you try to make it look the same as when you left. You clean up after yourself, you pick up your papers, you throw away your pop cans and that kind of thing. And I kind of think the world's the same way. I think each person should be responsible for themselves, and just clean up your own mess. It's really that simple. If you got a beer can, instead of throwing it out the window, put it back in a plastic bag or in the carton, take it home and put it in the trash where it belongs. But as far as recycling goes, in some places, recycling is very, very easy to do. In other places, it's a little more difficult and takes a little more conscious effort. And I think a lot of people don't do that, including myself, because it's out of the way. It's an extra step. What I do or have done is when I'm walking around, I see stuff laying on the ground, I'll pick it up and put it into trash dumpsters and things like that. But as far as recycling goes, here where I live, there's not a place that I can put just paper or just glass or just plastic, unless I want to bag it up, and then I have to take it down to a dump site somewhere, and that's quite a bit of ways. So I tend to put everything together and put it into the trash. I have a lot of different views about how recycling should be done. However, I believe recycling should be done. I actually think it should be done where they take the trash. If they don't dump it, I think our tax dollars should go for our tax dollars should go to a place where they can extract the metal and they can extract the glass and the plastic and reuse those things that are reusable, and then just get rid of basically get rid of waste that will go back into the earth by using that for ground fill and that kind of thing. So I think recycling is a good thing. I think it behooves you to at least attempt to do your part, and I do try to do that. But more than that, I think I'd be happy if people just cleaned up about themselves. If they didn't recycle at all, if they would just clean up behind themselves. You know, if you're a smoker like I am, and then I know that you go to places that you know, smokers are required to be because they can't be inside buildings and things like that. And when you do that, there's cigarette butts and stuff laying around on the ground and that kind of thing. Well, I'm not telling you, you know, belittle yourself and bend down and pick up cigarette butts. But, you know, it wouldn't hurt you to do that 1 or 2 times. Especially if it's a place that's relatively clean, but there's like 2 or 3 cigarette butts laying there. Pick them up and put them in the ashtray along with your own. What I actually do when I'm out, if there's not an ashtray available, and I don't suggest this to everyone, but it's what I do. If there's not an ashtray available, when I'm done with my cigarette, I squeeze out the last bit of tobacco because that'll go back into the land. Then I take the filter and I put it in the edge of my pocket, or I put it in, you know, usually in the edge of my pocket, my jacket or my jeans. And then when I get home, I throw it away instead of throwing it on the ground, because that doesn't help anything. And we also have a lot of wildlife here that are, you know, they don't know from cigarettes, and they'll eat the damn thing. And so that's kind of what I do. So I'll sum it up again and be done with it. What I think about recycling is I think it's a good thing. I think if you can do it, you should do it. I think if it's important to you, you should do it. You know, I mean, a dog doesn't pee in its own bed, and I don't think we should either. So that's my view on that. Now back to fun stuff. Right now, by the way, when I mention the time on my videos, what I'm going by is Windows Movie Maker's clock. So after editing and things like that, the time's usually off, so you'll understand that. I've had a lot of great responses from people. I've had a lot of messages, and I haven't been able to get to all of them yet. I do intend to do that, and I will get back to each and every one of you who has sent me a private message, be it negative or positive. I will get back to you on it. I think dialogue is good, even when the views are different. You know, I might learn something. You know, you may say something that just brings it home to me just like that, and go, yeah, you know what, he's right. It's possible. You know, I've learned some of the most amazing stuff from some of the stupidest people that I've ever met. And I know that sounds silly, but remember that people who don't have the ability to do what the normal people do have to devise little tricks in order to cope. And sometimes those tricks are genius themselves. And you can take advantage of that, and added with whatever intelligence you have, add those tricks, and you just increased your intelligence by, tenfold. I jumped into something the other day without thinking, and believe it or not, I do that from time to time. Being a human being like all of us, I still get angry once in a while, and one of the things that really pisses me off is the prejudices of other people. And especially when it comes to someone who is, who holds themselves up as being holy, and then from that point on persecutes others or that kind of thing. It gets under my skin, and it makes me angry. And the other day I lashed out at somebody, and I wish I hadn't lashed out, and I'm glad that I put my 2 cents in. I could have done it less aggressively, and I'm sorry for that. And I feel sorry for the guy. you know, in my opinion, he's a sheep that is following what somebody's telling him, and it's very evident from his vlogs that he either is not reading what he's supposed to believe, or he's not understanding it, and he's been being handed it out of context and that kind of thing. And you know, I feel sorry for him. I really do. I hope that when you're supposed to love this God that you're supposed to love, then I think you should love what he's saying, believe in what he's saying, and do what he's saying. And unfortunately, this person, that's either not true, or they just really don't know what he's saying. So I feel bad for him, and if I had not been as aggressive as I was, if I had taken a little easier stand on it, maybe what I had to say would have been accepted better, and maybe it would cause him to get in his book and read and find out what, you know, what his book says, and maybe make a change that would not only be beneficial to him and his salvation, but also to the world in general. So I wanted to speak on that real quick. I know I'm about 11 minutes, and I'll try to edit it down a little bit, but it's probably going to be a long vlog. I've got a lot to say. You've been warned. My lighter's working a little bit better. I went and cleaned it and replaced the fuel and everything, and it's working a little bit better. I keep the lighter because it was given to me by a loved one, and that loved one's no longer around. So every time I pick it up and light a cigarette or use it to light a fire, I think of them, and it just makes me feel good. So it's worth it not working sometimes, and sometimes I cuss at it, but you know. Let's see, anything else going on? Yes, something else is going on. A couple of my friends have done things for me. Somebody wrote a song, and some people have done some graphics for me and things like that, and that's great. I appreciate those tokens of appreciation that are being given to me. One of my new friends said, and not jokingly, but said, you know, we should get some like T-shirts, you know, about your like balancing act and I love Zen and that kind of thing. And I thought that was kind of a cool idea. And I already had a store up. I just hadn't put anything in it. And at almost the same moment that came in, somebody sent a graphic in, which I thought was pretty cool. And so what I did is I took the graphic, I went over to the store, and now there's a balancing act T-shirts and cups and tote bags and postcards and all kinds of stuff available to anybody who wants them. If you do, if you don't, that's okay too. You know, I'm not looking at it for a profit. As a matter of fact, the markup on everything there, my markup on it is $1 per item. And my intentions are that all of the whatever money comes from it, I will pass along to somebody like Habitat for Humanity, or just go down to my local Salvation Army and just hand it to them and say, you know, here's a donation. So I'm not going to take any profit from the balancing act stuff, from this balancing act stuff at all. There will also be some CDs there. I'm currently writing a book, and rather than belabor it and make it take a long time at it, it's a collection of stories that are inspirational and really have morals to them. Kind of a Aesop's Fables by ZenArcher, if you will. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert them to MP3s, make them available on CD, as well as in some places make them available just for a free download, and let you have a look at them. So that's going on. I do have the book that I'm currently writing. I'm spending a lot of time at. If you haven't been to this site, folks, I want you to get over there and take a look at it at least. It's http://zods.com. That's ZAADZ.com. If you appreciate the kind of thing that I'm doing here, and you would like to be involved in literally changing the world by doing good deeds and following your own karma, Zods is the place to get inspired. It's a community it's a multi-religious community. There are different types of religions, everything from Buddhism, Hinduism, Catholics, Jews, Protestants. Everybody's over there. You can download free stuff. You can purchase commercial stuff and put up your own blog and your own web page free of charge. And it's just a heck of a nice place to be. So I hope that you'll check it out. If you would like to see my own profile there, it's ZenArcher.zods.com. And I hope you'll come by and take a look. So that's all my plugs for today, and I hope that you're having a wonderful morning. Until next time, this is ZenArcher. Be well.
Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side.